Okay, it's Matt back here. Excuse the noise in the background if you can hear children. But the joys of working from home. Just might have a trade on here. So it's 20 to 4, and I'm just looking at taking a small long on gold. Now we're actually in gold on the signal service, and we actually took an exit just up here on first half of our position, but that's based on sort of a high time frame. It's not a day trade as such. But if we can get this closed now, and I get this signal notification on here, what I do is I'll take a trade. Now I'm a little unsure of the lot sizing with regards to this, because it's a new account for me, and you've got to be careful when you put these trades on, because different products and CFDs and stuff like that, they all have different gearing. So when you're putting your lots on, you need to make sure that you do get the lot sizing correct. So I'm just going with 0.25, and I'm just waiting now to hit it. I'm going to hit it. So new order in here, and I'm going to buy 0.25. It doesn't allow me 0.3. It allows me. Okay, we're in. Okay, so we're in at 0.3 of a lot on this gold trade, and I'm going to put a stop in just below this moving average. Let's just have a look, see if there's any other support in it. Yeah, we've got support here. So we want to be just below this level here. So we want to be stop loss in at around. Be nice to get under these moving averages as well here. So 12,76998. 12,76998. So 12,76998. 12,76998. No. 12,76998. Modify that pops the stop in down there. Back to the 5-minute charts, just check how that looks. Yes, that looks okay. So the next thing then is to try and get a target, and target would be back up these highs, to be honest. A retest of these highs, so don't necessarily need it all. So around 1283,573. 1283,573. 1283. 573. 573. 1283, 573. 573. How's that look? Okay, so that's the target in, that's the stop in. I'll just go through some of the analysis with regards to that. So on the daily chart, we have got we've got this sort of positive rolling up of the awesome oscillator. I'm also looking for the CMA just to come up a bit more with regards to that. On the 4-hour chart, we have, the only thing I don't like is we've almost done a kiss of this 200 period moving average, and it's not quite touched it. You can see there's some gap. If I zoom in, so there is potential we get up there and do touch it. That if we had have touched it, then I would not have taken this trade, but the hope is that we can push back up there. Just look at the hourly chart. So we've had a fairly decent close on the hourly candle. Obviously, you know, it did get all the way up there, but you know, potentially this could now push up. The only concern I have got is that we've got this this price envelope pushing up here, and price could come back down to touch that and stop us out if it does. 30-minute chart looks okay still. Again, we've got our stop below these sort of moving averages and below this price envelope, so that looks good. However, on the 15-minute chart, we've kind of rolled back over, but what we're looking for is this to kind of have one of those double double moves up and like effectively a divergence style pattern on this 15-minute chart. So you're always going to have conflict. It's impossible to do a trade without having some conflict on one time frame, but you just need to base them on probability. So you can see here we've got my candle, which was my signal. I kind of preempted it a little bit on this one, and just got in just a tad before, but hopefully we can get some movement on this. Now I've also had an alert on the so I've got turn time. Turn time is just the name of my my indicator. So on a buy on Aussie dollar, so let's just have a look at Aussie dollar for a buy. Okay, so I mean it's had similar price action to what the gold has actually had, to be fair, and you've got to be careful when you're trading, because a lot of markets correlated, and a lot of markets move together, and dollar strength and dollar weakness will affect gold, etc. Risk on, risk off, etc. will affect gold, will affect indices, so you do have to be very careful. But as far as the daily is concerned, yeah, it looks like potentially to scoop up there we could get some more upside here, so that looks okay. 4-hour chart, we're getting overbought-ish, but this could go on for some time. We could get up to this sort of level, so I wouldn't be overly concerned with that. Hourly, yes, a really nice close on the outside of the bands there, or the price envelope there. On the 30-minute chart, again, potentially pushing up here. We might be missing out on this one. On the 15-minute chart, similar to the gold situation. And on the 5-minute chart here, I think it's worth a go with a small lot, so let's just go in with 0.25, bearing in mind that we've got the gold trade as well. So buying 0.25. Saying that, that's a mistake, because the awesome oscillator has not gone into negative, which is one of my criteria for the trade. So I've rushed into it a little bit there. So I'll see if we can push up a little bit and I can get out of this trade actually, because one of my criteria is that this should come back to the negative. So the histogram here. I was just going to show you the gold trade while we're waiting on that. I was just going to show you the gold trade that we got out of. So let me just log into the account. Okay, this Aussie, it's a quid, it's 76p, no, it's a pound. I'm just going to get out of the Aussie trade. I'm just quickly going to show you the chart for the other trade. So this was the gold trade. You can see here the pips are slightly different on this because they are the pips are basically different on this broker. So 725 pips is equivalent to 72 pips, but it's quite a nice exit there on the gold, as you can see. So we got out a good level there with the gold trade, to be fair, a really good level. That was based on the higher time frame chart. As you can see here, it went into profit several times, but we got out half the trade there, and that was one of the signal trades, which are complete different, separate parameters to these videos and these day trades that I'm doing with you guys. But it just, you know, I thought I mentioned it earlier, so I thought I'd just show you it. So just going back to the gold. Okay, we're just sitting there. It's not really doing a lot yet, but hopefully we can have it move up, and I'll come back and see how this plays out. Okay, just back, and the gold was a stop out. We got in around here, and it just blipped down and stopped us out. So the whole setup and scenario and pattern has changed now. But what I have actually done is just entered another small long. The reason being is just on this hourly chart here now, this was the close of the last bar. it didn't close outside our price envelope, so I'm just looking for the potential for this to now bounce back up, up to the sort of upper end of this price envelope here, and that's all I'm looking for with this trade. So it's going to be over quite quickly either way. I mean, it's a very tight stop on it, so it could just come down and get stopped straight out, or it could push up and just come up to this level here and just get near this target. If it does start to push up, I will just be mindful of this CMO. I'll be looking to exit up here anyway, wherever it is, and we'll just see how this re-entry or second attempt plays out. Okay, just back, and I'm just going to close a bit of this gold down. I'll just talk you through why in a second. So and I'm just going to trail the stop up to, on the 15-minute chart, to the bottom of this price envelope here. So I need to go out now, to be honest. It's getting quite late on the day, it's now 5:30. So we had this loser on the gold. I think the main issue was, at the point when I got in here, the histogram was negative, but it was only just negative, and the better entry would have been, obviously, as you can see down here. So unfortunately, it was more of an entry issue. We've made a little bit back on the second entry, so if this now does push up and hit target, then if it does push up and hit target, then obviously most of the loss probably be a break even overall, probably a break even trade, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that final part. So yeah, I think the lesson really is to not be afraid if you believe in the analysis to a certain extent, although in this scenario the analysis did change, because you know, we're just looking to push up to this price envelope, whereas before we was looking for, you know, a move up to these highs. But in those scenarios, I think you've just got to be happy to take a second attempt. If you feel it's right, go for it, take the second attempt. So I'll end the video here. Hopefully this will push up and hit target, and I'm going to end this video here so I can get it published to the YouTube channel, and I hope that helps for today. So one loser and one part winner. Hopefully the second half will be a winner as well.